You may be wondering, weren't you just like doing the other section? Yeah, I'm not gonna break. It's fine. I'm Kasey Kiggins. If you guys don't know me, head of education for RITSEC. Super fun. Whoop whoop.
I'm Raina. I'm the secretary, and I'm also around doing other things. But if you haven't met me, come say hi.
And we're gonna give a fun little talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yay! Wow, that was a great response. I'm very happy with that response. That was great. Okay, yippee! So diversity, equity, inclusion, as you can see by this RIT diversity, equity, and inclusion statement, is very important to the campus that we are at. It's very important that we stand by our own school's inclusion statement and try to abide by the standard that RIT sets for all of their students. So, this conversation is, well, maybe you guys don't know what all the words mean, so that's great. We have some terms that we'll be using throughout this presentation that we identified on here. Raina will go over them.
So, diversity generally just means involving people of different backgrounds. In this context, it can mean generally just having a group of different people to get different perspectives. Equity, different than equality, which is like general fair treatment. Equity recognizes that we don't all start from the same place, and sometimes we need to adjust for imbalances that society creates. Inclusion just means providing equal access. Everybody should be involved. Everybody should have the same opportunities. And accessibility is similar, but making sure that people who might be disabled or, just making sure they have the same access, kind of that they're included as well. And unconscious bias is social stereotypes that we may hold without even realizing it based on our past experiences, upbringing, stuff like that. And we just need to be aware of that.
Being conscious, yeah, I can do it. So being conscious about what you say, what you do, where you are, things like that. Words can hurt, no matter the intent. Jokes can hurt sometimes. I joke around with people a lot, and I'm not going to joke around with some people that I'm not very close with. Like, say Raina and I aren't friends. I'm not going to go up to Raina and be like, "Hey, Raina, you look like you need sleep. You stink. I hate you." I'm not going to say that to Raina. Alex Noble, on the other hand, who's my friend, I will tell him, he will say, "I'm having a rough day." And I'll be like, "Tough luck. Deal with it." But then I'll actually help him. But sometimes jokes can hurt. Everyone's experience is a little different. You never know what somebody's going through. So make sure whenever you're talking to people to be mindful about what their current situation is. And keep in mind that some people may not see things the same way you do. Like we said, unconscious biases. You can say something about somebody or something. I know I get it sometimes. Being a woman in CSEC, sometimes people are like, "Wow, you're really smart." Yes, I'm at RIT like you. I assume that you would think I'm smart. Things like that. So keep in mind what you say. Sometimes it's hurtful. There's wind outside that I can hear it. But sometimes it's a guy. I was very worried. With a cart. It's a cart. I was like, it's so windy. Sometimes you guys can say something that can hurt somebody, and you don't even realize that you say it. And it's important also when you hear that, going to somebody and saying, "Hey, I don't like that language that you use. Could you not use it around me?" And being aware that sometimes people may not know what your sensitivities are. It's also how you say it. This is true. I can't see it on my screen, so I have to look over here. How you say it, yeah, you can be a little mean sometimes with your inflection, or you may not say it as a joke, and people can take that the wrong way. Alex Noble's back there, and he agrees. Just be, like I said, be conscious of what you're speaking of, how you're saying things, and how you're overall representing yourself in the club room, because people have different experiences, and they might take what you say in a different way.
So part of what's important about what you're saying is being aware of where you are, because every setting has different standards for behavior. Sometimes you'll be in a professional environment and you're not going to want to be like goofing around a lot. And sometimes where you are super casual, and sometimes it's kind of a weird gray area. And that's kind of where the club room falls sometimes. You never know who is listening when you're saying something, and you also don't know how it's going to come across, because sometimes without context, or if your voice is echoing down the hall or something like that, people will get the wrong idea. Even if you're having like a normal conversation, if you're speaking a little too loudly or making some weird jokes, people are gonna maybe get the wrong idea of you or say the club that you're representing. And also with the club room, you have to keep in mind that there are other students, again, being conscious of different perspectives. And we also have faculty and sponsors that come in. So it's just part of being aware of the environment you're in might not always be the super casual one you're used to. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more professional. And sometimes just being careful about that all the time is better than making a mistake and having to apologize for it. Do you have anything to add?
A good example of this, we do have sponsors and professors who come in the room a lot, and we'll have faculty come in. So say there's like, I'm in the club room and I'm about to say like a really interesting story about how I totally definitely did not break a vending machine on campus. I'm not going to say that while there's faculty or people in the room who might be like, this club is full of hooligans. Well, it didn't happen. We're not hooligans. It's great. We're doing great. That's all I had to add. Being respectful. This is big. Like I said earlier, don't use certain language if people are uncomfortable with it. Refer to them in a particular way, name and pronouns. Some people don't like their name and they prefer something else. Try to use it. Well, don't try, do use it. But make sure that you're using it even if they're not there. Being respectful of somebody when they're also not there and using their preferred pronouns and their preferred name to get in the habit of it is great. Because you're respecting another person and you want to be called what you want to be called. So you should call other people what they want to be called. Make an effort to understand and listen. People's feelings matter. You don't have to completely understand to be respectful about it. All of us come from different backgrounds. We come from different families, different areas. We're not all from the same place. So be respectful if somebody has an opinion. Respect their opinion, and that's that. All you have to do is respect it. You might have to listen to them. That's fine, but you don't have to be rude or negotiate what the terms of the agreement are. You can listen to their opinion and just be like, I respect that. I have a differing one, but that's fine. That's all fair. What everyone will feel like correcting you?
Do you want me? Yeah, you can do this.
So for this one, it's kind of just sometimes you won't know things about people, and that's okay. You might not know someone's preferred pronouns. You might not know their preferred name. And not everyone's going to be like correcting everyone all the time. So you might not know. And something to do about that, because I know that's a difficult situation to be in, is kind of being conscious of the other people around you, what they're saying. And also, it's okay to ask if you're not sure. It's more respectful than just guessing. And if someone doesn't want to answer, that's okay. But at least you asked and you tried. So making an effort is important. So RIT has some resources. If you feel like you're in a difficult situation or you just want to talk to someone about something that's bothering you, we have lots of places to go. RIT has a discrimination and harassment policy as well as diversity and inclusion policy. You can go to ombuds for like peer negotiation. You can go to the women, gender, and sexuality resources if you're having trouble with anything in that regard. Most of us know about CAPS and Title IX. Those are just resources if what you're dealing with is like heavy and it's, somewhere in that. Then for accessibility, Disability Services Office can help get you what you need in terms of accommodations. And then GSIS actually has an embedded counselor if you want to talk to somebody in the major who's more familiar with the college. His name is Robert, and he's a mental health therapist. So you can always reach out. His name and his email is on the website. And otherwise, you can reach out to a trusted person. It doesn't have to be faculty. just a friend, a club member, just go to someone and let them know that something is bothering you. And maybe they'll be able to help, or maybe they'll give you the support you need to find resources. But we want to be there for you, and we want this to be an inclusive and safe environment.
If you, like, genuinely, if anyone has, like, a problem or they need help with something or they're struggling mentally with something, you can reach out to anybody. It's really just, like, going to somebody, like Raina said, who's a trusted person to you, and just the first step is asking for help. And they might not be able to give you answers, but it's a lot easier if you're not struggling alone with anything. If somebody does bothers you, you can come to a trusted person in the club. They'll get it to the people that it needs to go through, and we can try to fix that. We just want everybody in the club to know that they're supported by not only other club members, not only the e-board, but by the school as well, as it shows. We have a lot of offices on campus that can help you. So you are supported, and you can reach out to anybody, and they will get you where you need to be. Cool. Any questions? Yay. So, yeah, Chase has a question.
So, I would say that this presentation definitely helped pick some of the locks people had in their heads about this stuff. If you guys didn't know, this is Kasey's 5th presentation.
It's my 5th presentation.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was my 5th presentation.
I didn't know either. That was good, Chase.
Funny. Any real questions? That one was cute though. No? Okay. Fun fact, CAPS, I believe, should be fully staffed this year, as well as they have all the embedded counselors for every college. So instead of a lot of upperclassmen will know that it takes like weeks to get a meeting with CAPS and like some of their counselors and everything, it should take like 3 to 4 days now to be able to get a meeting or set up an appointment with them. So that place is a lot more well staffed this year for you guys to have help when you need it, which is great. Yay! And that is the end.